morning. It's Monday, October 17th. And while I was looking for something to speak about this morning, I spun the article that was dealing with the J6 insurrection. And it talked about the FBI and how members of the FBI were sympathetic to what I will call the rioters storming the Capitol. Apparently, a sizable percentage, that's the verbiage used in this email that was sent out, felt that those who were storming the U.S. Capitol were no different than the BLM protesters. Now, the name of the person who sent the email is redacted, but the person who received the email, Paul Abadi, is now the second highest official at the FBI. And he responded to the sender an hour after he got it, thanking the sender for the message. So apparently, Mr. Abadi probably knows that the email was fairly accurate in its description of the feelings of many FBI agents. So because of the warning that was stated in the email about the attitudes of the FBI towards the insurrection, Paul Abadi had to take it upon himself to explain to an agent from a blue state office the difference between the activities that took place at the BLM protests. Now, the BLM protesters themselves were not the criminals. Many who attended the protests were criminals and took it upon themselves to loot stores. So that's stealing. That's what happened at the BLM protests. But that wasn't the BLM protesters doing it. It was persons who showed up and took advantage of the mob scene that was there and used the confusion of that rally to their own ends, to make a profit from the BLM. Now that's opposed to the purpose of the rioters at the Capitol, who went in and stormed the Capitol, following the orders of the sitting president, following his orders to destroy the execution of a democratic process that was going on, following the orders of a president to stop the voting. And luckily for us in this country, we had a vice president who stood his ground. And also luckily, we were able to evacuate congressmen and senators from the Capitol building before the storming mob got to them. So there's no comparison in my mind, and in the mind of anybody who thinks clearly, that there is no difference between a BLM protest and what went on at the Capitol. And if it's true that a significant number of FBI agents believe that there's equality between BLM and the riot at the Capitol, then there's a big problem in this country about the training that goes into being an FBI agent or any other agent of the government. Now, I recognize the fact that policemen and FBI agents and Homeland Security agents and all of those face some terrible situations in their lives. And they have to be equipped to deal with it. And I've had many, many friends in the police department and in the fire department and other services where they are prepared to risk their lives to save people. And I know that a few of my policemen friends have started to lean to the right because of the actions that they see on the street. And so they're taking a hard line in order to cope with their jobs. And even when they leave their jobs, they remain thinking of that discipline. So it's not an easy job to be a policeman or an FBI agent or a Secret Service guy and keep your head on straight. So I will cut them a little slack, but not much. And the one thing I would really, really believe is that they should keep their mouth shut. It should not ever get out to the general public that there are a significant number of FBI agents who believe that the insurrection was nothing more than a tourist event. Do these people really believe that? Are they hiding behind something that's gnawing at their brains? This was a coup. This was an attempted coup presided over by the ex-president of the United States, who encouraged this mob. So does that equate to a rally that's gone bad and was overtaken by criminals? I think not. I think it's sad. It's very sad that this email came out into the public view. It gives a very, very, very bad view of the FBI. And I'll tell you another thing that came out in this article. There are many African American agents who have turned down requests to join SWAT teams because they do not trust every member of their officer's SWAT team to protect them in an armed conflict. So imagine that. People of color who are FBI agents, specifically African American agents, have turned down requests to partake the duties of a SWAT team because they are afraid of their own people. That is a sad, sad statement. That shows you the shape that this country is in. That shows you how far the white supremacists in this country have destroyed the thinking of people that we depend on to save our lives. What could be worse than that? We need every able-bodied person to be treated equally and ready to serve this country equally without taking sides. You can have an opinion that may be different. It may be right or it may be left, but that does not absolve you from your duties to this country. So I'll leave you with that this morning. A terrible mess and just a reflection of what's going on. Take it easy. Bye.